the element of the other artists did not constitute that nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? If you are on a tour with Kool The Gang, that's no nonsense.
That is correct.
If you are working with Luther Vandross, no nonsense. If you are with Patti Labelle, Quincy Jones,
so the caliber
Wonder, I can go on and on with the amount of artists that Sky has shared the stage with. No nonsense tours.
Yeah. No tomfoolery. I got you.
No tomfoolery.
No tomfoolery.
Absolutely.
I could go on and on. So we were fortunate that we came, everybody came to do what they did. You had maybe a connection with some of the groups that you played with, but there was none of that. There was none of that. And like Deniece said, that stuff didn't really start till we started getting into the 90s.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Hey, welcome to KROSS BARZ, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with alternative perspective. I'm your co-host, Big O. I have with me...
Hey, Tanae is back in the building one more time with the legendary, iconic, beautiful, hit-winning Grammy Award, all of that gold record, Ladies of SKYY. Give it up, give it up, give it up, everybody. Love it, love it, love it.
Grammy. I like that. Let's just keep that in the air.
I will put it everything else is correct. Right. It ain't never too late. It ain't never too late.
No. We still got a little more career ahead of us, so it could happen.
Absolutely,
over
absolutely.
3 decades. I was like, I had to, listen, fan of you. I was really like, okay, around 92, I'm in high school around that time. I said, okay. And then after that, I was like, I had to reread some things.
Right.
Whoever your publicist and everything, at least they getting y'all stuff straight. Because I was looking at some other people's stuff and I was like, that ain't true. That ain't true. Wait a minute. They wasn't from there. I was like, that's not where they from. And I was like, okay, we don't look at this, but they had the Ladies of SKYY and whoever's doing did a great job. But we're going to start this off. We got to have to figure out, all right, do people in New York have a air about them? Because I looked at several interviews and you said, yeah, we're from Brooklyn. And I said, okay, I was from Brooklyn. And then someone said, yeah, they were from Brooklyn too. It was like, oh, that part? And I was like, oh, we got to mention that because I love the subtle shade. Excuse me, what part of Brooklyn are you guys from?
Bed-Stuy.
You or die, Bed-Stuy. I read that. I wanted you guys to say that because do people from Bed-Stuy look at people like maybe from Brownsville and Coney Island a little bit like,
Actually, it's if you're from Brooklyn, this is how it goes. This is how the culture goes.
Right.
If you're from Brooklyn, you automatically feel this immediate sense of love. It sort of doesn't matter where. Now, back in the day, I think we've got more mature, so we don't look at people quite that way. But, the Queens people at the time were the more snobby people that, you couldn't necessarily get close to. The Manhattan people, of which Bonnie's husband is a part of, the Harlem group,
that's
the uptown people.
That's different swag from New York City, from Manhattan.
And then her husband being from the Bronx is something completely different.
And then Austin's from the Bronx. Right. So those are the people that, they watch your purse around. But...
the Bronx is gonna hate it.
Says when you're with the Brooklyn people, watch your purse.
Watch your purse.
It's enough to go around. But now that we're older, of course, we just look at everybody, just wherever you're from. I don't care, even if you're from Tennessee, Alabama, it doesn't matter. It's really about the heart of the individual that we're dealing with. How are you and who are you? That's what I do.
Right. And you were talking about Bedford-Stuyvesant, and it's a lot of celebrities, a lot of great people had just come out from that area alone. Hundreds and hundreds. From my era, from hip hop, Chris Rock. The list goes on and on. Is it something in the air? Like, what is it about that place?
It's in the water.
It's just
something.
It's such a core of people, you know, when you think about diverse people, yeah, especially now.
Right.
But, you know, we grew up there, and I want to say our parents have Southern roots. And so our parents taught us how to live and be a certain way, but they also loved music. And music was something that was just part of the household. Everybody will say on Saturday, when it's time to clean up, what are you doing? The music is on. Right? And so that kind of influences, I think, you know, your interests. And you said Bed-Stuy. Biggie Smalls was also from Bed-Stuy.
Absolutely. That list is big. Jay-Z, Lil' Kim.
Yeah. So but it's just a very family kind of oriented place.
And then when we came up, you know, and maybe a few generations in, music was a big part of the schools.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we came out of a great school that had an excellent music program. So schools back then, elementary school, junior, it's middle school now, but it was junior high when we were going.
Right.
Elementary school, junior high school, all had great music programs.
Yeah.
And we went to high school in Bensonhurst.
Right. We went to high school in
You
Bensonhurst.
see what I'm saying? So he's like, look at Bugo is like Bensonhurst.
Yeah, because I was like, you know, that's a little ways.
Yes,
That's correct. That's correct.
That's crosstown.
Historically, we were part of the group of individuals who, when they were talking about integration of the school systems, y'all all know that every state has gone through a period of integration. So for us, it's interesting. Thanks to my mother and dad and the way they raised us, we were pretty smart kids. And so we started going to majority white schools way before a lot of other people did, purely because we were smart. And sadly, in the Black neighborhoods, the schools, the curriculum was not at a certain standard and level. So we started getting transferred out to the schools that were majority white, or you could consider majority white. Since elementary school.
Elementary, junior high school, we went out. We
were out in Bensonhurst going to school.
Or we went and to programs that other schools in the neighborhood, like I was transferred out of one school into another because they had an intellectually gifted program. So I went from one school in the neighborhood, matter of fact, from one school to another because that school had a program which they deemed for intellectually gifted children. So we went to those and they all I played clarinet in elementary school. So the music program. Clarinet. I played clarinet. So the music programs were so much better. So I think that is the reason why a lot of great talent came out of Brooklyn.
Because they had music at a very early age. And so if you starting out either in chorus or in band or in orchestra, you had your basis, you know what I'm saying? For your art.
Because there was another guy who went to high school with us, Stanley Banks. He wound up playing with John Lucien. He's played with George Bass for George Benson. And he was in orchestra back in high school. And he's gone on to play with so many different kind of major artists. So because of that program that we had and the musical enrichment programs that we had in the high schools and the elementary schools back then, because I'm sure Stanley just didn't start in FDR. He started playing, you know, from an early age. So that's where all of us, you know, came out of.
Will Downey, I believe he's from Brooklyn as well.
Brooklyn too.
And he spoke of his upbringing. I saw his some years ago, him unsung. I didn't realize how close to death he came.
Yes. Interesting story.
You know, and the reason why I mentioned him, because I was listening to the three of you and you mentioned that you were bust out during a time right after, you know, a lot of that civil rights movement, and that was like the late 60s, early 70s.
That's correct.
But do you think that really hurt our communities because it was taking our best and brightest and placing them in these other schools? And so basically taking the talent out of our communities?
Well, I think that has some validity. The point that you're making has some validity. And I think that now, a lot of the agencies are starting to realize that you've got to bring this stuff back into the schools, into all schools. Education has to have equity across the board. I live in the city of Newark right now, and there are a lot of negative things going on because they don't have these types of programs available to them. And so it's going to take, you know, the powers that be to understand the importance of this. And I think in New York, they're trying to bring a lot of those
but that's
programs
the thing.
back.
New York has a lot of those programs. They have a lot of high schools that, especially high schools that are just geared towards the arts. But I find here, I'm out of Jersey City. And I find that in order for your child to be able to go to a school that is geared towards performing arts, they have to come out of Jersey City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's no program. They just don't have it, you know, available. But the good thing, like what you were talking about, is that the fact that all of these musicians, all of these vocalists, all of these artists that came out of Brooklyn always brought the music back to Brooklyn.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And now looking at your eclectic background, whereas, you know, you were nurtured at an early age by your parents, you know, saw that you had a talent. Then you were, you know, academically gifted. You were able to go to schools that were more challenging and that actually can help you as your academic needs. But now let's get to some of the fun stuff of you actually performing, because you came up in a time where there was no TikTok, no internet. You had to get in front of a stage and bare your soul. Yeah, look, you had to bare your soul in front of your peers, because you know that's the most difficult people to perform in front of is your hometown. They usually are the last ones.
Absolutely.
You know, you go out on the road and everybody loves you. You come back home like, I know her.
And you know, it's funny. It's funny because we were accepted, interestingly, in DC. What was our area? DC, Philly,
Virginia,
Carolina, Maryland. Yeah. Before we were really popular here in our hometown, really. And even on radio. I mean, we were like, why are they playing us on the doggone radio? And yet we go to DC and we're in heavy rotation. It took till the Call Me album, really.
For us to really be. We're going to get to that.
It's very
I want to know
true.
which one of y'all singing that line. Get my
Which line?
Oh, goodness gracious.
You said, get my number and a dime. I thought that was so funny. You said, give me my number and a dime.
They don't know what to do.
Listen, we have Randy Muller and his brilliant mind to thank for that.
I tell you, nothing to do with that show.
Have no idea. Like, what is it done for? Like,
the call. They don't know. Like, there used to be a payphone.
He doesn't even get it. Back then, a telephone. There was a phone booth.
Yes.
So there was in the phone booth. There was a space for a dime, a nickel, and a quarter.
Right.
So in order to make a local call, you put the dime in the phone and you dialed it. That's the only way he was going to get a dial tone.
If you want more minutes, then you have to drop the nickel
and the quarter.
Absolutely.
I never seen the 3 slots. I've seen the 1 slot though. I remember those.
Yeah. It was 3. I remember vaguely.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah. Well, that's because, you know, people do a lot of international calls too. So you need them quarters because the next 5 minutes was what, $5?
That's
so
right. If you was calling California, you had to have.
That's right. A little more.
Funny.
Right. It was laid out.
And so when that operator
next to the phone book.
That's right.
I might add. Phone book. There were 2 phone
You can do it quick.
That's right.
That's right.
But the thing is that the only way to describe them now is to show children Superman. Because when you're just trying to describe it, I promise you.
And the
phone booth. Right.
So you have to show them Superman.
Right.
And it was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, they wouldn't know that.
Right. And it's interesting. They just took the last phone booths that were in Manhattan out about 6 months ago?
6 months ago.
It was like a whole big ceremony up here in New York when they lifted them from the ground and took them away. It's truly a part of history now.
It is.
It is.
you know, during the 90s, they transformed into, urinals, you know. The 90s, they transformed.
Well, guess what?
That's unspeakable.
Yeah, some things happen, you know. Superman was not going in there.
Smell like urinals, so you were right. They weren't so.
Yeah, so it transformed. So
we're glad they're gone and they're going.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now you guys had a illustrious career. I did not know that you guys were opening up for Patti Labelle. And then, because I love music. I love learning about music history. I'm a history buff. I'm a history teacher. But watch this. Did you guys pattern yourself similar to Patti Labelle and their sisters, the Labelles?
So interestingly,
Not really.
Patti Labelle happened to be my favorite artist from day one. As soon as Patti Labelle and the Bluebells came out, I always loved her. But we were more interested in the male vocal groups of the time, right? Right, Bonnie?
Yes,
Like
yes.
the Temptations and the okay.
And the male groups, and like Deniece and Delores mentioned earlier, our mom and our dad used to play a lot of music. And then there were music programs that came on TV. Y'all would never know this. Ted Mack's Original Amateur Hour, Ed Sullivan, those were, she's shaking her head.
She said she knows, she's heard of it.
Okay.
Ed Sullivan, I heard the first one. No idea.
American Bandstand.
The Gong Show.
Okay, well, I'm getting close, right? So they would feature all of the male groups, the Temptations, the Four Tops. I could go on and on. The OJ, those the moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the moments.
And
The moment.
What about the Tramps? What about the Tramps? Did they
The moment.
The moment.
And Little Anthony and the Imperial.
Oh,
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
man.
So we watched them,
That's crazy.
They would
and we liked their dancing. We liked their choreography, and we liked their harmony.
yes.
Okay.
So when we started singing, that is who we used to emulate. We would emulate the male groups. Not to say that like Delores said, what you say about the girl
The
groups.
girl groups weren't, they harmonized and they looked all very lovely, but nobody was stepping. Everybody was being like,
They was just doing like this.
Yeah.
and the only thing that was moving was your arms.
That's
It was swaying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like the idea of dancing and moving. So that's kind of more so how the approach that we took to what our musical presentation was going to look like.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And during that time period, I learned by doing this podcast and some of the guests, some of the integral details of being groomed by a seasoned veteran. I didn't realize until Deniece Williams explained she was back up for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
And what was the
Stevie Wonder.
The group that was with them, and they became a group themselves, and they were the other backups, and I was like, what?
Oh, the Hutchinsons, the emotions.
The emotions,
right.
yeah.
Whoa, best of my life. Yeah, emotions came from Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I'm sitting here like learning history, like, are you serious? And then I start learning, like, and then, Luther Vandross back up, and, his favorite Dionne Warwick, and they groomed him. And I was like, and then Regina Bell was for Anita Baker, and they were groomed. And that's what was the preface of me speaking about Patti Labelle, because I'm like, you open for it. And then I was like, wow, but it was three of them, the Labelles. And then they had a group, and, eventually, they had some health issues. And, Patti had to go off on her own.
Right.
And that's why I was like, okay, I just put that together. But you came in the golden era of female group, because we got to talk about this. I was like, what's going on with y'all?
Can I just name a few?
No, watch this. Y'all and the Jones sisters. I was like, y'all.
Oh, the Jones sisters.
There, the Jones sisters. I was like,
the
are they from Brooklyn? Because y'all stylists.
on.
Yo, listen, y'all should have been stylists, because y'all always was fashion forward.
Yes, they were.
And why y'all don't have your own line or whatever, or style some of these little kids around here? Because none of them have style. They think that they can get high in clothing and think that's style. That's not style. Style.
Well, we were very fortunate early on to understand the concept of bringing in specialized people to do specialized things, right? So our first stylist was Deniece Proctor Muller, who was Randy Muller, who was the co-producer, also the brass construction guy,
The brass construction,
who kind of mentored us because we started out singing with brass construction, as you were mentioning, who works with who and how did it all get started. So Randy Muller, who met us actually at that Miss Black America New York State pageant, took us under his wing. But his wife, Deniece, his wife at the time, was the one who actually set our style pattern. So when we were looking for outfits, she designed something. And interestingly, she designed the clothing with the braids.
Around the braids.
And so we're looking at it and we're like,
okay,
hey, that might be something.
That'll work.
Pull my hair on.
We don't have to talk. All right.
That's good.
So
That sounds like a great idea.
And plus, to add on to what Deniece is saying, our mom was a seamstress.
Right.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. So the first
that's a come up.
we ever wore for a photo shoot was made by our mom.
Our outfits, our talent show.
For the whole band. She made the whole band.
Wow.
Our
Mom should have had her line. There you go. Mom should have had her little line.
That's right. Mom Dukes.
For the
and everything.
stars.
that we were already in that mode of knowing how things were designed, how things were made, what kind of fabric to buy. She'd say, don't bring me no line and material. Don't bring me no cheap fabric. So we from a young age, we knew what style was, what fabric was, how things are supposed to look. And then like Deniece said, Deniece Proctor was our first. And then who was our second? Wasn't it Angela?
Then we had Masato.
Right.
We had a guy named Masato designing our shoes.
Oh yeah.
Then we had Angelo Ellerby. Angelo Ellerby, who now works with Dionne Warwick. Angelo has done crazy, amazing things. But Angelo actually styled us for the Start of a Romance album cover. And now oh my goodness, we've got we have a team called Renew Artists, Dwayne Gazai White and Rajeen White. Susan Moses. Susan Moses actually was recently on Sherry Shepherd's show. That's how she is right about now. Yeah, she dresses. She's really that's her book. So yeah, we've been very fortunate to be associated with people who can put things together. And now we have a gentleman who's designing something special for us for the February show, Jesse Harris. Wow. So. Yeah, but you got to look right. I mean, we have 3 different kinds of bodies going on, and you want to make sure that you look good.
3 different types of styles
and personalities.
And
we can definitely see that.
Stuff.
Definitely.
And I said this on the note. It is important that you feel good with what you wear when you perform. If you don't feel right and you got pulling and tucking and pulling stuff down, then that interferes with you.
If you got to pull it down, it's too tight from the beginning.
Your black sister look like.
Should have thought about that from the beginning. But from your hair to everything that you wear has to feel right because, I do a little singing and I'm singing some choirs and things like that. And when I didn't feel right, it messed with my head. Which I allowed to mess with my performance at times because it can mess with your confidence. So that is very important that they style to your body type and all that stuff. So, hey, kudos to all those fashion people you guys just named. That's crazy.
Thank you. Yes. We've been very fortunate. Makeup artists too, hair stylists. Yeah. And they're all part of the family. Even though they're part of our team, the thing we pride ourselves on is everything that we do, we work as a family unit. And the loyalty therefore is there and the expertise is there, more importantly,
Absolutely. And I would like to use the word substance.
That's a good word. I'll take it.
I'll take it, Big O.
Absolutely. Now, we have to get back, because you mentioned something I will touch, because I have got a few questions. Good job. All right. During that Miss Black pageant, what is it called?
Miss Black America New York State pageant.
Miss Black America New York State pageant. All right. I have a few questions. It might seem a little different because we discuss alternative perspective. Because I have my brain.
We welcome it.
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Big O.
Did Eddie Murphy get the idea of Randy Watson from you know, from coming to America from that pageant. And was there a person named was there a group called Sexual Chocolate? All right, because when I saw that, I said, okay, this is crazy.
I can't imagine that connection would have been made by Eddie.
First of all, let's say this. How old is Eddie Murphy?
He's around 56-ish.
Well, he was a little young then, so.
Yeah.
He might be 60.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't think people understand, and maybe we can enlighten everyone about the Miss Black America pageant period.
Right.
Because it was created as a mechanism for Black females to be recognized for their beauty. Correct. Because during that time, they weren't as recognized in the Miss Universe and Miss America.
USA and all that.
Beauty and their brains.
Yes, and their talent.
And their artistic talent.
Yes.
Because that's really what they focused on.
Yes.
You know, and that's really what they focused on. So, but for you to like try to like I said, Eddie Murphy at that time had to be 2.
No, like I think he might be 60-ish. No, because Eddie Murphy's older than Chris Rock. And that's why yeah, he's like 60-ish.
I don't know.
The reason why I was saying it because I was like, yeah, and that's why I was like, you know, like, were there Sexual Chocolate? Was there Randy Watson there or a Randy Watson-esque type person there?
No, absolutely not. Because with the
only Big O,
they made sure that the level of class that event presented itself, you know, because that was the idea. Think about it. It's in competition with the pageants that you would see on television all the time.
And guess who was in that pageant? Bernadette Stanislavski.
Wow.
She won that.
She won the year that we performed.
Good times, what I was about to say. Good times, Bernadette.
As a matter of fact, she danced. That was her talent.
Her talent was dancing.
Listen, I don't know how to act because you know I'm gonna keep it all 100. If y'all come by me and I see, I'm like, there was Scott. I'm running up to you. My wife, she's my chaperone. You know what I mean? You got. I can't be left up to my own devices. I know this now. You know, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So if I see you and I just hug you, like yes, and you know, you like give me food, like nah. You raised me. I'm letting you know, and I'm excited. Yes. You know, I'm trying to do an interview, but I'm excited. You know, like you wasn't there, but you was there in spirit because you know.
So by that you could see the level of the women.
Yes,
that were in the pageant.
Oh my goodness.
See what I'm saying? So there was none of that nonsense.
And again, the representation, they wanted to be sure that they were representing Black women in an amazingly high level type of light. Yes. And I mean, this was, now think about it, this was just the state pageant.
Right.
So it was very well organized because there was a pageant in every state, and then ultimately they would have the Miss Black America. You know what I'm saying? For all states would compete against one another.
Because I'm technically right now, I'm from New Jersey, first and foremost. Shout out to y'all because, you know, from a state. But do they have one of those in North Carolina? Because I'm just going for like research purposes.
I'm not even sure if the enterprise
still have those.
That was 1970.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. And the only reason why we got on the pageant is because the guy that we babysat for was the director for the New York State pageant. And so we used to watch his children, and he said, well, I'm going to be directing this pageant and I want you guys to sing. So we were like, okay, cool. You know, we'll do it. And it was 4 of us at that time, right? We had a 4th. And that's how we wound up getting on it because Stanley was the director for the state of New York in particular. But I'm going to do some research myself because I don't know that the enterprise still exists.
And the only made that up. Was Hal Jackson's talented team.
Right back then.
Hal Jackson.
Yeah.
BLS. Okay.
Another good friend of ours.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, okay. Do you guys write your own music? Because I've seen different people on credits because we got to get to some of the business. All right. So you guys were writing or did you have a team? Oh God, my internet says it's not safe.
Most of the songs were written by Randy Muller and Solomon Roberts. And then Tommy McConnell wrote Let's Celebrate, Start a Romance. He was our drummer.
Right.
Yes.
And Bonnie.
Deniece and I.
Bonnie.
She said Bonnie.
Deniece and I actually were fortunate enough to write, because then they opened it up for everybody in the group
To make a
contribution if they felt
Good deal.
right. And Deniece and I co-wrote a song. I wrote the lyrics and she wrote the music. That it was on one of our albums called Love Is Blind. We were actually really surprised that the record company picked it up because, you're writing, they didn't look at us as, writers, but it's a slow tune and I did the lyrics and Deniece did the music.
And then my husband and I collaborated with a French production team, I guess 2 years ago now. They sent us some music because I don't know whether you guys realize, but the French love funk music, R&B.
Yes.
I heard all in Europe.
I learned that from my father-in-law, yeah.
They love it. And so they wanted to collaborate with a variety of artists here in the United States and sent us a bass line, which sounded really great until my husband and I co-wrote Love at First Sight. Love is blind, love is blind, love at first sight.
And now we found out.
And now again was me and the guitar player. Yeah, we seem to be on the love theme anyway. But so we haven't had, how shall I say, as much involvement in the writing side. But now that we're independent artists with no record company, net record label association, I think we're moving more in that direction, to do more.
My thing would be, you ladies are sisters, and I have 2 other sisters, so there's 3 of us, and there's the bossy one, and then we got one of those, she'll fight you, you know what I mean? We got one of them. How do you? No, I'm talking about fight each other. You know what I mean? She don't play nothing.
No. I'm gonna tell you, our mom did not play that.
Oh no, we weren't allowed to fight. We weren't allowed to fight. We weren't allowed to fight each other. No. We weren't allowed to fight each other. But in fact, my dad would make us sit on the couch and hold hands, and we would be mad and argue with it. And that's the worst. And you'd be crying like, and he would make you hold hands until you weren't mad anymore. And that's punishment.
That's
right
sweet.
there.
And that's a nice, easy way of putting you on punishment.
Yeah, my mother didn't allow any of that.
But being sisters, working together, like you said, all the personalities, working together, living together, being together. How did you stay together of all this?
Because Mama said
all this time.
Yeah, I mean,
that was easy.
She said
Mama said.
She set the bar for what was most important, no matter what it is we're doing. We each have our own separate family lives at this stage, but it's never been a competition. We've always worked together. There's strength in numbers when it comes to us because, we're self-determined about what we want and the direction in which we want to go. And we look at one another's, we take everybody's opinion and we respect it. You know what I mean? And if it's not what necessarily I think should be done, because I'm always all over the place. I'll do everything all the time.
That'd be me. Everywhere.
Okay.
Talk about a whirling dervish. Okay, so what do you think about this? I'm not there yet. You're not? I thought you was there.
We had to wait 5 days.
How many years? How many years between each of you?
They're making me laugh because that's 5 days. We're gonna wait 5 days. For hard to get it to beat it, to get there. But
that's okay.
And then there's a level of knowing who the person is. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Of course, we get annoying to each other, but that's only 5% of who we are. There's a 95% that you have to think of when that 5% rears its head. You have to say, you know what? I got to meet them where they are right now. And that's okay, because that's the other 95% is the one that's always there.
Right. Because my mom always says that one day we'll have with each other. And that's what we have. And us being the matriarchs of the family, because we don't have any brothers. So this is it. This is the core. And if we fall apart, then my daughter and my grandchildren and my great grandson are going to crumble. if she falls apart, then I mean,
everybody is like the level of everybody.
Right. If everybody,
because my grandchildren are here right now.
That was the technical director you saw.
I saw that.
And her granddaughters are here every week. So it's like, yeah.
That's great.
I'm just wondering now, is this what I have to look forward to with my 3 daughters? Because I think my wife was mean to them. They had to put on a big t-shirt when they got in arguments. So they had to be inside of a t-shirt together. And I used to laugh.
I love it.
Like me, I honestly, now that I have a 17, 15, and a 13, like
I'm lovely age.
Yeah, no, I'm the youngest in the household.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, it's like the youngest one, like we vibe because she the most like me. So if we doing something out that we ain't supposed to be doing, because, you got to eat right. I'm getting older and I don't eat right. So she encourages the nonsense. The other one is a little bit on top of things and they like their mom and I don't really like it. But I'm starting to look at it like this is what this is going to look like in some years.
Get ready, big O.
That's exactly what's going to happen. But again, like we keep repeating, it's our mom and our dad. I don't want to belittle my father's influence in our lives. My dad was a bus driver, New York City bus driver.
Oh, mom was
he had city benefits. Oh, he good, man.
Taught me to he held a very special place because he was like the foundation of our family. You know what I mean? Right. My mother didn't work. My mother was home, for us because my dad said, I need you there to be looking after my girls. And so, we had fun together. My mother taught us how to cook, how to sew, all of that stuff that we needed to know how to do. But my father taught us what a good and productive man is.
And how to burn a steak.
How to burn a steak. I want to know, wait, we got to get
How to change a tire.
How to change a tire.
Right. Okay, that's correct.
Yeah.
Now, we got to talk about something because you opened up a subject. Now, I don't want to start no discord between the sisters. Who the best cook?
Deniece don't cook.
Right.
My husband, Austin.
Yeah, because you the ones that eat all the best cooks.
Yeah, we each have
to get a whole cook.
She's the queen of hors d'oeuvres.
Okay.
Dolores is the queen. If you need a little charcuterie spread with all sorts of exotic things that you have no idea what they are.
Oh, yeah. Okay. For all the audience of KROSS BARZ, yes, Deniece just called her sister Bougie.
I can explain it to you.
But Barney is the one that cooks. And then let's not say I don't cook. I can. She can.
When she had
everybody loves my banana pudding.
Okay.
Love banana pudding.
When I get into it, I do it. But otherwise, I'm the one with the purse and I say, here, go order this.
All right. Okay. Now let's dig a little deeper.
Somebody and get it in.
Let's dig a little deeper.
I'm with you.
Can each of you tell me the meal to catch a man? You only get one meat, one side, and one vegetable.
One meat.
One side, and one vegetable.
And one
catch
vegetable?
a man meal. Please tell us.
Okay. So I'm the filet mignon. Can I get a nice steak?
Get a steak,
please?
Yeah,
nice filet mignon, medium. Don't kill him. Don't kill the meat.
No tire.
You need to have either some nice charbroiled Brussels sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We put them in the air fryer. We make them really nice in the air fryer. And you got to have some baked potato or the little fingerling potatoes.
Oh, the little
right?
Yeah.
Yes, and then some key lime pie.
Oh, key lime pie. Okay.
She put a dessert in there.
She loves that key lime.
She topped it off with the key lime.
Dolores, and
Dolores.
Listen, I've made so many different things. It's like, okay. Lamb chops.
Okay.
Oh.
With sauteed zucchini, tzatziki on top of the lamb chops, and rice pilaf.
Oh.
Ooh.
Exotic.
Very exotic.
And for dessert, you just getting some ice cream.
Well, hold on. What flavor?
You're gonna be so full. You're gonna be so.
You're gonna do vanilla and pour a little scotch over it.
Oh.
Bars. Okay. Lord.
All right now. Now.
I'm going to tell you. For me,
She's not sleep.
I'm going to tell you, and
Okay.
I can cook anything, but I'm going to tell you what sometimes I tell my husband. Go look in the refrigerator.
It's in there.
Whatever in there, that's the meal for the night. No, but I cook I'm like Delores. I've cooked so many things over the years, and I know a lot of people. But I'm going to tell you what the meal was that I caught him with.
Yes.
Got to go. There you go.
Pork shoulder.
Ooh.
Oh, what?
A pork shoulder.
Pork shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
Field peas
With snaps.
and snaps.
Yeah, I got you.
And sweet potatoes with brown sugar,
Oh, yeah.
sprinkled and cinnamon. That's what I.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we coming to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was like, that ain't even playing. When she went to the Philippines, I was like,
My sister's fiance is passing out.
yeah. When she
I'm
went to the
getting married.
Philippines, I was like, that's a different time.
I know. Who's getting married?
Yes,
Yes, it's tomorrow, right?
tomorrow.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. Good wishes, good vibes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got it. You guys heard it first.
I've been exclusive. This is an exclusive.
This is the funniest
It is
thing. When you
exclusive.
talked about everybody's like little attitude, you know, what they do, right? So Deniece mentioned about the interview. She said, oh, you know what? We call her Wanda. Well, you know, I asked Wanda about it. I said, no. Don't ask her nothing. I said, because you know she's going to be a nervous Nelly. I said, so we'll just do the interview. And she could go on to the Airbnb. I said, because you know she's going to be crazy. That's what.
Yes.
And then look at this. And look at this.
I am so.
No, then she said, I'll do that. She said, oh, she'll do it. But you know
whatever.
what? That's where it comes in.
Right.
Thinking about the next person.
Yeah.
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 Because I said, we'll do it. If she don't feel, you know, if she didn't feel up to doing the interview.
No, because I checked every.
Right.
I said, you know, we'll do it. I said, Deniece,
I love it. I know Austin had brought it up, and it was like there's a wedding, and we was like, if she can call in, we'll take it anyway. She can call in. So for him to be able to work it out, and all three of you ladies here, that's a plus for us again. So congratulations for that. Is she a bridezilla though, y'all? Is she a bridezilla? No bridezilla.
He said, well,
No, because you know what? I'm gonna tell you what. Because my daughter.
it's your definition.
Miss Bonnie.
Yeah. Let's get that. Let's get clarity on that.
No, because you know what? My daughter and my granddaughter and my best friend, Patricia, have taken over a lot of everything that needed to be done. So, and if I ask,
We want to know, would we, Bonnie?
if I ask my granddaughter something, she's like, this is not your job, ma'am. I got this. Don't worry about it.
But she wanted
right.
us to come for the dress.
Yeah.
Of course.
She wanted us. She wanted Deniece and I.
That's great.
You know.
And just let y'all know, guys, it's never too late. It's never too late to find the
Not
love.
at all.
You know what I mean? People,
You know what? That is
because somebody don't love them. You know, hey, take your
I tell
time.
people
What's
that
meant for
all
you is going to
the
be there
time.
for you.
All the time. It's never too late. Like Deniece and Austin,
Never.
how long y'all been married?
30
I can never remember.
32 years. 32
Deniece
years.
and Austin,
32?
yeah, 32, and James and I have been together 23.
Mm.
So
And
how
believe it or not,
long
I
you
met
been-
my husband my fiance when I was 9 and he was 13.
And you just coming around full circle with the
Around.
amen to that.
I'm right up there with y'all.
Bars.
We
I
right in the
love it.
same range right there.
You,
Yeah, I got
Big O,
you,
how
man.
long you been married, Big O?
Oh, you know, I got 22 years.
All right, Big O.
Okay, Big O. I got 15. I got 15 this
Oh,
year.
okay.
I'm coming up. I'm coming
The
up.
fact
You
that
know.
you're even using the M word, for heaven's sake,
Right.
is an anomaly. You know what I
and the
mean?
years,
Yeah.
and the years.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It seems like it's out of fashion for people, you know, to
Right.
actually make that commitment.
And then they only stay
for
for 2
those
years.
of us who have done it, we really understand the depth and
And the
importance
value
of
of-
and the value
Absolutely.
of making
Right.
that commitment, and then you kind of know you're with the right person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, for the long haul, the worst haul, whatever's going on, you can haul it together, you know? So I just applaud you guys, you know, for that. And I hope that other people kind of look at it as the important institution that it was meant to be, you know?
Exactly.
It makes a difference for your children, especially, you know, because they're in a great, solidly based household. I think a lot of the areas of society are really based upon people operating in different types of family environments, and it doesn't give people the foundation that they need to be whole human beings, you know what I mean? So kudos to y'all for that.
Thank you. Hey, Black love is real. Black love is real.
Yeah. So now let's discuss some, you know, as I like to say, the era of the female groups, late 70s, early 80s. All right. So we had the Jones Sisters, we had the Emotions. We also had not multicultural, but men and women in group, the DeBarge family, as well as
you had
the Jets, because they were Filipino. The Jets.
The Jets. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was you know, it was a whole thing. And I was looking, and I was like going through my album covers because, you know, I got music. So now of those, right? And RIP, one of the Pointer Sisters, she recently passed a few months ago. Pointer Sisters, of those groups, where do you guys see yourself as saying, you know what, this was tough, you know, because this group was out or this group was out, and this is what the record label was pushing, because you guys had some big hits, you know, that went to the top. So you were at the forefront, you know, during the, as I like to say, the heyday of the music star, because you seen the ascension of Michael Jackson as a solo artist, because, you know, he's been around forever. And you seen the ascension of this new guy called Prince. And then it was this brash guy that was like Prince, but he had some tendencies that was a little bit more different with Rick James. And you seen him come on the scene. And I want to know, you know, who was more like, okay, we got to watch out for those girls, because, you know, we're in similar, because, you know, you all have your own lane. I'm not saying, you know, but you have look over like, you see what they're doing? I think they biting our style.
No, because we toured with Sister Sledge.
Sister Sledge, awesome.
Yeah.
First of all, let's remind. Let's just make you mindful of the fact that we have operated as Ladies of Sky since the breakup of the band Sky.
Right.
So the band demised in 93. We started as Ladies of Sky in 96. So we've continued the legacy of the band.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Now, I'm not disrespecting no one in the band, please.
No, I understand. But it's gonna inform my answer to you, because our competition was not the female artists. Our competition was Rick James, the Ohio Players, Slade.
Y'all had a big band. Yeah.
It was
Atlantic Star.
Cameo. Yeah, man. We had to come in there and play with the big dogs.
That's right.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. Those were the people that we were touring with. We toured for 13 months with Kool The Gang.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't a competition, because here's where the maturity of the artists in that time stood. We came out there, you do what you do, we do what we do. There's no fighting, no, 90s artists like just change the game, because they was fist fighting behind the stage, stealing out of the truck stop, doing stuff. And we didn't live that life, but it was earning the respect. I'll never forget the first time we opened for Rick James. It was kind of interesting, because Rick was, as y'all know, a hardball. You know, he played hardball.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Right. And so the first night that we performed, opened up for him, we had about this much room on the stage because they set all their stuff. If you, as you know, the major act sets up first,
Right.
And then
everybody else.
You gotta film around.
So
you
we're
gotta
like,
walk
okay,
around it.
we ain't got much room, but we gonna get up here and do what we do. And so we did our thing. And the next thing we know, Rick is kind of standing on the side, checking us out.
Absolutely.
And we're like, uh-oh, what does this mean?
As he's supposed to.
We're not quite sure how this is going to play out. And he was like, they was great. Next night, we had more room that we were supposed to have on the stage because there was no attitudes. We just came out there and did what we did. Kool The Gang, best tour we have ever had in the history of our.
No one could surpass them on a tour.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was no conflict with you and maybe the Mary Jane girls, like they saw
No, we
actually became friends with
all of them.
They would come to our dressing room, and this is the thing.
Sister Sledge as
Well,
well.
they on their bus with them.
Come to our dressing room. For some strange reason, if we were touring with anybody that had women in the group or back, they would always come to our dressing room.
Y'all girls from Brooklyn.
Brides of Funkenstein. I will never
Brides of
forget
Funkenstein.
the Brides of Funkenstein.
The Brides of Funkenstein?
They came, yes.
Yes, I remember them.
Those girls came and they were like, oh my goodness, how do you guys get along so well? Well, first of all, we're sisters.
Yeah, that's a difference.
So that makes life, very easy and simple for us because they said, we were kind of like thrown together to be, in this business and we don't really know each other like that. So you kind of travel single and solo. And listen, the road is not no easy life.
Not.
People the people that pay their money to see you, they see the end result, but they don't see everything that's around them. So yeah, we never
ever had any issues with any women. Any of the male groups, they were always very, very, very respectful. You know what I'm saying? We were aunties then. We were older.
You can't wait. See, you had me when saying about those girls, we was good and everything, kumbaya. Cause I'm looking, I was like, see, we got the sisters, they three. So they already know you mess with one, you mess with all three. So they gonna be like, that's number one.
That is real.
Y'all from Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy at that. It ain't like you from Canarsie. Y'all from Bed-Stuy. Right. So that's first and foremost. So I'm reading between the lines like, they already got the memo. Them sisters will beat y'all up. All right, now let's go to the next one. Which one of them boys was trying to get it? Because Rick was a notorious dog, and then during the 70s, all the junk. I'm just being honest.
Free love.
Rick had his own entourage. He had a whole other thing going on. And who was the other one?
We stay really clear of those.
George Clinton.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they from Plainfield.
Whole other thing going on there too.
We always came off
as the lane,
really good girls. We came off in that fashion. Now it's interesting on Facebook now that we're putting a lot of, more of our social media stuff is happening, I'm getting all of these, and Bonnie has too. Now we're seeing who the admirers are, right?
Yeah, back in the day, I was looking at you, but your sister kept on giving me the eye. Yeah, you getting the screws, right?
So, Kevin Spencer from Dynasty and another guy, because Kevin, we worked with them as well. It's being revealed that these people have had crushes on us, and we're like, never known.
We had crew members crew members that wasn't going to play that.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm gonna do it again. Again, y'all was from Brooklyn, right?
That's right.
Brooklyn ain't changed. Brooklyn's still Brooklyn.
And so were the crew members. Yeah. So there was none of that going on.
No,
okay, absolutely. I got you. Now,
you okay with that, big old? You good?
I'm good for that. That kind of explains some things. It was just like, we had our brothers with us, so they wasn't letting that happen. They probably made promises to your parents. So I'd be like, look, we want to roll.
And mom and daddy, they was praying, so they had that little on top too.
Yeah. So all that stuff. So see, now I can understand it because I'm like, all right, because I'm just being honest. I'm listening to some of the artists that come on the show, and I'm actually trying to pitch it because y'all need to tell some of these stories. on the road, you know, like Deniece Williams told me about Stevie Wonder driving her car, for real. And I was sitting there like, you loud and you was in the damn car.
He did.
Like I'm sitting here like, what? What?
He was doing what?
Like these stories need to be told because
you
know, and I'm like, you know, like all these groups that are still here and have the faculties, hey, put it all out here. But let's be tasteful because I ain't really like what Smokey was doing, you know, lately about kissing and telling. I ain't really feeling that because that's to me that's corny. You know, you kissing and telling. You can imply, but don't go over. You know, it's like
right.
Be a petite.
Well, you know, everybody, we live in a TMI world right now. People think that all your business has to be told at all times. And so half the time, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? We're like, please, we don't even care about any of that. Right. You know, what are you doing to upgrade society?
And that is what took them so long to do an unsung.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have any dirt.
Right.
They were looking for the dirt.
What's the juiciest and stuff like that?
They're really, and like Denise said, you don't get out and tell everything anyway.
None of your business.
Nah, you shouldn't.
None of the business.
No, absolutely.
But you can talk about it like, nah, this dude, he like putting his hands on people. And, you know, my sisters came like Color Purple, stepped up like, you know, like some of the things like that. Then, you know, at some of the, you know, concerts that you might have had, you jumped in the crowd, you was feeling it. You know, all these things like the nuances being around the world, you singing in front of thousands of people in Germany that singing word for word and can't speak a lick of English. You're like, well, how
we had that in Japan.
Absolutely.
In France, we were like, what? Y'all know?
And we were kind of on tours where the element of the other artists did not constitute that nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? If you are on a tour with Kool and the Gang, that's no nonsense.
That is correct.
If you are working with Luther Vandross, no nonsense. If you are with Patti LaBelle, Quincy Jones,
so the caliber
Wonder, you know, I can go on and on with the amount of artists that Sky has shared the stage with. No nonsense tours.
Yeah. No tomfoolery. I got you.
No tomfoolery.
No tomfoolery. You know, I mean, I could go on and on. So we were fortunate that we everybody came to do what they did. You had maybe a connection with some of the groups that you played with, but there was none of that. There was none of that. And like Denise said, that stuff didn't really start till we started getting into the 90s.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Right. Because I remember we did a show. Yeah, I remember when we did a show with New Edition. Right. And they had to shut the concert down just because the fans
were acting crazy.
So crazy. They almost knocked the whole stage over, you know, because the fans were just fainting and passing out and, you know,
rushing the stage,
throwing money. They what's the name in the head? You know, it was not.
Now, see, I was okay, and then y'all gave me that little tip.
Then we gave you that?
Look, gave me that little tip. Now we gotta ask
dirty as we can get.
No, look,
we want to go home not satisfied.
Yeah, hold on. Was Bobby hitting on you? I'm definitely like seeing that right now. Was Bobby hitting on y'all? Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Who, Bobby? He was a child.
They were children.
Bobby was no child. He came out of the womb 22.
Miss Bonnie, Miss Delores.
They were speaking tongues like that.
Not at all.
And then Ralph said, "Do you want to stand on the side of the stage?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah, they're little kids.
They're little kids. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, you know. Okay, so now we got to talk about the line. All right. Was that written by one of your producers, or did y'all put that in there?
Which line?
Which line?
The number, you can call me anytime. I think you had a video for it. So you put the actions to the word. The woman walked away, and then you put the thing, and then like gave like call me anytime. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, she sparked a whole generation. Like, you know, you don't realize these are all of your daughters right now. Like this is a whole generation that started from that moment right there. And the video, because remember, videos was kind of new. And y'all had videos.
Yes, awesome. They did.
And then you get it like, you ain't had acting class. You like, this is what I do. Call me anytime. I was like,
Well, it could be. And people are reading into it what they want to read
For sure. Oh yeah, imaginations went wild right there.
There you go.
Yes, it left it up for interpretation. Left it up for interpretation.
I love you.
Okay. Interpretation, huh?
Go down your
Right.
That's right.
Yes, whatever you want to do, whatever you
wanna
talked
think,
about and talked
by all
about.
means, go
There
right.
you go.
Well, here's the thing: the popularity of the song caught us completely by surprise.
That's right. We never expected.
We never expected that.
So you
that
shot the video
song-
like way after the song?
Say that again.
Because usually they slot your best song and they say we're gonna shoot a video. And now did it blow
That
up?
video was once they saw that the song was rising
Yeah,
so
right
quickly,
after
we
the video.
ran out and did a video. And then the next thing you know, we're being called by Don Cornelius personally
For Soul
to
Train.
come out for Soul Train. It was all within like 6 weeks of the release. It was the craziest
wow.
thing because we were not expecting that
Never.
at all.
No.
Think about it. That was our 4th album. People think, this new group Sky.
No, right.
Yeah.
We didn't have any steps.
We didn't have no routine.
When we did the video, I was 3 months pregnant with my daughter.
We didn't have
Oh.
any
Big. The whole thing
Yeah.
was this big, like,
Yeah, it
caught
was-
us
it just
so
went-
unaware. That we just had to kind of catch up with the popularity of the song. And it was not just a regional, as I mentioned
that was a
in
world,
the
yeah.
beginning with
Right.
Here's to You and High and all that stuff, that had regional, popularity. But this song just went across the country so
And
fast.
then it went international.
Yeah.
And then we get the call, y'all going out and tour with Kool The Gang for 13 months.
Oh yeah. Oh, that check is
Wow.
nice. I see it.
So we wasn't ready. And all that because Randy decided that he wanted to write something outside of what he normally.
Yeah.
Hey,
Absolutely.
it
Oh,
turned
listen.
out. It
Way to
turned out
step out on
pretty
the
nice.
limb.
Hey, you know, I want to say,
Awesome.
with all the girl groups that came up, I just want to know what happened to them. So me growing up in the 90s and the whole with Brownstone and Destiny's Child and 702 and Blackstone and Brownstone, all these, what happened to the girl groups? They just like disappeared. And now you have all these singles and there's not a lot of groups of anything left. Like, could you see the decline coming? And like, just from your perspective, like what happened to all of these groups?
I think attitudes.
I was going to
I
say
think
there's a duality of things that can cause that to happen.
cause
So
that.
Bonnie, go ahead.
I think it comes on the heel of the people's attitude and how much they think about themselves,
Okay.
which constitutes them not being able to work with someone else, because it's got to be all about you.
Yeah.
And we see that in the world.
Right.
Like Deniece said, we were working with girl groups that they got thrown together, but they learned how to deal with each other because all of them were masters at their craft.
Yeah.
Now nobody wants to give.
Share.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
And I
about
think
sharing.
right, and I think most of the groups the girl groups that are still together. We just did a show last summer with Honeycomb,
They're open.
Yes.
and they are so much fun.
Look at Big O, he's trying to.
I'm trying to get.
Yeah, and then we've been out.
What's your song, Bonnie?
Want to put it in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody rescue me.
Right.
And
So-
then we were out with First Choice, even though Rochelle's not with them anymore.
Right.
But we did Summer Stage, Gardner's Basin with them. So, but then there's not that many other girl groups that are left.
But to speak to the
Now, so the 90s.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
said you mentioned Brownstone and that you meant, all the groups that you
That was
meant.
Jade.
So by the time the
Johnny
90s
and Black
came
and-
around,
Right.
there was like now this whole different attitude toward the business itself.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that people are always trying to be the one up. I want to be the star. And I don't want you to have all the attention.
Right.
I want to have the attention. I think Destiny's Child experienced some of that as well. A very nicely put together group of young ladies, and they were really young.
They were
About it when they first came
First time
together.
it's-
But there was always this one person that seems to be shining higher than everybody else. And since I believe her father was driving the bus,
Yeah.
what winds up happening? Somebody's going to start feeling a little
Right.
lesser, and they're going to say,
Yeah.
I'm out. I think the same thing happened with the girls that just got back together.
In Vogue.
And not In Vogue. Well, In Vogue is like En Vogue is just a whole conglomeration of other people. It's not even
Yeah, they ain't even in vogue anymore.
right? So
Yeah,
what happened with them? Similar situation. You know, this one is making more money than I am. Right. This one's getting more attention than I am. And so I think that has negatively impacted their ability to move forward with that. Even let's go back to Diana Ross and the Supremes. Yeah. There was this thing that went on where one person is always getting a spotlight and the others are not as considered, you know? So I don't know
if it goes back to management to it, like you said.
Girl groups. You know, because I can't name one girl group. Right?
That's what she. Yeah, that's what.
No, that's what I'm getting at. Like you guys are like
SWV.
Yeah, it's because you know it's like Bonnie said. It's about the attitude that you have to have going in. Are you in? Is it an all for one situation? Because see, we're all for the common good. As sisters, nobody's going to. People have asked, "Oh, Deniece, you sing lead? Are you going to do your?" No, I may do some separate projects, but that doesn't mean I'm out of the loop of my, you know, the thing that we're doing with my sisters. That has nothing to do with it. I do some TV, you know, shows and a little podcasts and stuff like that, but that doesn't make me out of the group, you know, with my sisters. That's not going to impact that.
Oh, that's super
awesome.
So for me, looking at you guys, the longevity of your careers and some of the things, there was one particular song that I looked at and I said, wow, I didn't even realize that was the name of your song. And I want your opinion on it. Real Love. Now, when people think about Real Love, they don't think of Sky. They think of Mary J. Blige. And do you guys receive any compensation because of this?
Real Love?
Yes.
We didn't write nothing. So
you wrote some, but I wasn't sure because
we didn't write Real Love.
I love Real Love.
All right, because I was like, you know what?
Here's the thing: Real Love is one of the best ballads because Solomon is what Solomon does. You know what I mean? Solomon is. Oh my goodness, Bonnie, go ahead. Because you always talk about.
You know what? And that is because Sky is known for the funk. You know what I'm saying? We're known for that up-tempo stuff. We're not known for the ballad except for When You Touch Me and Real Love. But if you go back to any of our albums from album one and listen to the ballads, Saul is one of the best ballad writers that I know.
Yeah.
And so you have to go back and really, I tell people this all the time, go back, and they don't look at Sky as for slow tunes, as ballads. But go back and listen to some of our early stuff up to our last album. And there's not a ballad on there that you're not going to like.
I believe it. You know, that music that sticks to you, like as soon as you hear the first like few beats, it just takes you back to wherever that place was. That's how I feel with Real Love. And I was, you know, younger when it came out, but I just remember when it came out, and it takes me right back to where I was. I can remember smell. It's so nostalgic that's good music, and that's what a lot of things are missing now is that feeling. Like, you know that song, okay, you can play that song now and be like, oh, you just fall like, oh. You just like, oh.
And it's even better done live.
Okay,
I
bet.
I
and if you see this man, honking man coming, a striking man that coming towards you and want to give you a big hug and a kiss on the cheek, don't worry, it's Big O. All right.
So all right. Listen, we'll go for that. We really are. I'm a big hugger.
And our Rod the B, don't tell them that this is like your number one fan. All right, just
thank you.
Let him know, you know, because I know you're newlywed and everything, and he might want to. I don't want no problem. That's all.
Yeah, I can't wait to see y'all. I can't wait to see y'all in person, man. We got to make that happen.
Yes, we're gonna make it happen.
But before we go, we usually do this thing where I give you some questions. And you can choose one or the other. You can say both or neither. So, like, for instance, I'll give you an easy one. I'll give you a sports one. Because, you know, I'm eclectic. I throw everybody everything. Michael Jordan or LeBron? You can say neither, one or the other, or both.
Say that again. Michael Jordan or LeBron?
Yes, LeBron James.
Jordan.
Okay. All right, so you got the game down.
Jordan.
So I'm going to say some things, throw it out there, and you tell me one or the other. All right, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
Michael Jackson.
Okay,
all right, Miss
okay.
Bonnie.
As songwriters, Lionel Richie or Rick James?
Lionel Richie.
Okay.
All night long.
As food, mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese?
Mashed potatoes.
I'm doing both.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
Brooklyn, huh?
I could do both.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Like Brooklyn, huh? Okay.
I love hot dogs.
Okay.
Beans and
All right.
Frank.
Okay. All right. Keep on going. Cake or pie?
Huh?
Cake or pie?
Ooh.
Cake.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to answer.
It depends.
It's yeah, man. You got to be specific. You was like
No.
specific cake or specific pie.
Nope.
Okay,
Cake
no
or
specific.
pie.
I'm gonna have
You
to
say
say
both or either or one or the other. What?
I'm gonna have to say pie because I'm a peach cobbler person.
Oh,
I like cake, red velvet.
Cake.
yeah.
Pie. Okay. Okay. Let's get back. Freddie Jackson or Luther Vandross?
Who? Say it again.
Luther.
Okay.
Freddie
Freddie
Jackson or Luther.
Luther.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go. Like, I'm trying to throw y'all off a little bit.
Oh boy. Here we go. He getting tricky now.
Okay. The Clark sisters or the Whining family?
Clark.
Clark sisters.
Okay.
That girl better sing. That's all I got to say. Go ahead.
Look, I'm saying what you know now.
Yeah.
Tremaine Hawkins or Yolanda Adams?
Oh,
Yolanda.
Okay. All right. Let's get a little newer. Rihanna or Beyonce?
Who?
Rihanna or Beyonce?
For me, it's neither.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not.
Rihanna. Rihanna's on the come up now. Not that she, not in the sense of the word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm picking Rihanna because she got to do the Super Bowl this year, and I think that's really,
Yes.
let's just let's spread it out. Let's spread it around a little bit.
All right.
Because Beyonce made that $20 million over there in Dubai, so let Rihanna get a couple of points.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't like either one of them, but I'm not that into their music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. The beach, warm weather, or a snow haven?
Now say it again.
The beach or what?
The beach or a cabin or
I'm
cold,
going to the
cold
beach.
weather.
Oh, I'm definitely not going to the beach. That's sunburn.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Some people like the cabin.
I'm not going to. And guess what? I am not going to a cabin and
Unless they got a real bathroom.
Right.
Aspen? Like Aspen?
No, it's for mine.
Definitely not.
We don't do stuff.
And I don't do snow.
So the Brooklyn girl just told me, okay,
It was horrifying.
y'all just threw me off. All right, I gotta stand
We
here.
never played it this
We used to cry. Cry.
Yeah. We thought we wanted to play in the snow, and then we would be back in 2 minutes crying with our hands red and our feet. Mommy, we crying.
So
That's
the
too
sister
funny.
said, we ain't getting out of New York. We moving to Jersey City.
I know.
We moving south to Jersey. Like, getting out of that cold New York weather.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
All right.
I gotta get back. All right. Let's get back. All right. Now I'm gonna throw something in. The New York Giants or the Jets?
Giants.
Mm.
And I'm not a football fan.
But
I like the Giants.
I don't know. I'm rooting for the home team, Jets and Giants. I don't care.
Okay.
A crippling loss for the Giants. Boo-hoo.
Don't tell me you're a Cowboys fan. That can't be possible.
It wasn't good.
Okay. All right. So, all right. And let's start finishing up. Okay. Grits or oatmeal?
Grits.
Brooklyn girls.
And we are
Everybody likes grits.
grits, but grits.
Okay. All right. And the last one. The Apollo or the Beacon Theater?
Ooh.
Apollo.
Oh.
Yay.
That was easy. They did that. You almost sound like I was making a song. Apollo.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. So
right.
before we go, all right, I want to know, is there anything that you would like to say, things that you would tell the audience? Because, making sure that everything that I wanted to know about was covered, because I want to know about real love. I want to talk about Brooklyn. Right now, I was going to ask which one was the fighter, but I could see that y'all jump people. So it's all good. So it's all good. Y'all did the Brooklyn Sisters.
We all got our section. I'll put it that way.
Everybody got a section.
I hear that.
That's right. Everybody got their section. We got something for everybody out here.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
I think the biggest thing that we want people to know is two things, basically. One is that our album, the SKYYLine album, was re-released by BMG Records, which now owns the Salsoul. Yeah. That owns the Salsoul Records collection. So January 20th, our album was re-released, SKYYLine, which we're very proud of, on purple vinyl, remastered. Okay. And there is a link, which I'll be happy to share with you guys so that if people want to purchase it, just so you know, Disco Essentials was released by Salsoul. It includes Instant Funk. It includes Joe Bataan and Double Exposure. Right. And there will be more to come. Okay. All right. So that's the number one thing. Number two is that we are going to be reuniting with the band.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love it.
Yes. We are reuniting with the band on February the 25th at the Cutting Room in New York City. Isn't it fitting that we should do this in New York, which is our home?
Absolutely.
Couldn't find a venue in Brooklyn. But anyway, Manhattan is close enough. And that will be on February 25th, showtime at 5:00. So we'll be sure to share that with you guys as well. And those are the amazing, wonderful things that are going on for Ladies of Sky and Sky. And of course, Delores' wedding tomorrow. Yes.
Yes, congratulations.
Where you going on your honeymoon?
Say that again?
Poconos. Okay, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm dead serious. Listen, I'm looking at you. I'm serious. The Pocono water will make you have children.
Oh, Lord. Really?
Well, and guess what? Guess what? If that happens, there's going to be a problem.
That's right, Nico. And it's for you.
Because my great-grandson is 3.
Listen, you're going to have a younger uncle.
Stop closed, the bar is open.
That's right.
Listen. I promise to God. I promise you everything.
There you go.
There you go. No, we're not blaming you.
He done fell off the reservation. He done left the reservation and fell off the basement.
Well,
I'm trying to warn you.
All right.
Lady, I'm trying to warn you. I'm here for guidance.
The ship has sailed.
No, ma'am. No. Listen, I was not a believer. The Pocono water, I don't know what it is. Myself, my best friend, right? We was like, we thought our wives were doing. I'm like, man, look, man, you've been married for like 3 or 4 years. I was married for 2 at the time. I was like, I don't know, right? So now he went to the Poconos. He's like, man, came back from the Poconos. Yo.
Well, let me ask you.
Right? Then he said, go to Poconos. I went to the Poconos, came back. Bam.
So we speaking from our personal experience.
No, it goes on. Then I told one of my other friends, he was married for 4 or 5 years. I was like, yo, listen, you don't believe me.
Don't go to the Poconos.
Go to the Poconos. Just take a weekend, go there. Don't say nothing. Just drink the water and,
drink the water.
Now, it's four people, myself and 3 of my friends, all came back from the Poconos.
And how old are you, Big Up?
I'm almost 50.
Huh?
Almost 50.
We're trying to tell you that the ship on this side has sailed.
No, ma'am. The Pocono water does something like
we're taking bottles.
We're not giving Poconos.
We go in supermarkets. I go in supermarkets and steal people's children. That's what happens at this age. I see
that's funny. He's done. Give it up,
and I'm like, you want me to take the baby home?
Give it up. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay, today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So we got those things coming up. We're going to look for your new music, right? But to look
Yes,
for your
ma'am.
music, do you guys have like Twitter, Instagram? Are you guys on all of those?
Oh my goodness,
platforms?
you're
Where
asking
can
me
we
all
find
these
you?
questions, these technical questions. So we are on Instagram, the official Ladies of Sky. Here comes
Yes.
Austin.
Beautiful.
Okay, oh yeah, bring it over here, Austin, because it's on the
I
bottom
love
of our.
that.
Okay, here we go. Facebook at Ladies of Sky. YouTube, Ladies of Sky. What is that? Oh, Instagram. That icon mean?
You did it. You got it. Instagram.
Instagram.
You said,
The
what is that?
official Ladies of Sky.
Twitter.
All right.
At Sky of. I set that up and I don't know what I was doing. So that's why I said that. And then our website is www.ladiesofsky.com. Okay.
Awesome.
So you can
y'all gotta get a
all
TikTok.
that. You can call Big O or you can call Jay Tanae. They got all our
That's
contact.
right. Yeah, we gonna make sure we put it out there.
No, don't do that.
No, your story. Listen, the Diva Chronicles. I'm trying to make sure that y'all can put y'all stories up because Dave Chappelle gave us the blueprint. Like, you know, he got skits behind Charlie Murphy with all that stuff. I know y'all got stories. Y'all been in business for over 40 years. Matter of fact, y'all been in business longer. I've been alive. I looked at your bio.
We got stories. All right. We were in Germany. No, we were in Nigeria. Which one where we had to hoist her over the bathroom? Germany.
That was
Germany.
I get stuck in the bathroom.
Bathroom at the airport in Germany.
And Deniece.
I was too big to fit under. What I did was put the hands like this, hoisted this one over to get her out of the bathroom. Those are the kind of stories we got for you, and plenty of them. Okay.
I'm sure Mr. Austin.
One of our road crew members in the truck stop. Okay. And we didn't know he was missing until we got all the way to New York, and we said,
No.
we need another movie.
Oh, that's funny.
So we have
sure
a video called "Where's George?"
Where's George?
Well, Austin
And it's on
Enterprises,
VHS.
I'm sure he'll come up with all of these.
So those
I'm
are
sure
the kind of
there'll be a
stories
book
we got. So
somewhere
have
down
us
the
back,
line.
and we'll just list them all, and we can just have a big laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All these stories gotta be documented. There has to be, and there has to be little stories and skits. Instead of
Big O.
we should just have the Diva Chronicles. I said it already, and I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. I was backstage and I had to wear, Sister Sledge gave me her shoes because my shoes weren't fit. So I started wearing her.
We have a story for that too.
That's what
But that's next time.
Next time. Hey, so Big O, I know Mr. Austin, was it Austin Enterprises?
Austin Kwame Wilkinson
Enterprises. I'm sure he's got something in a book or something about to come out. He's gonna make sure something goes down. I'm sure, Big O.
For
but
sure.
Saying that, he said for sure. All right, I don't have anything to say. Big O, any last words before we take it out of here?
Number one, it's been a pleasure. I love doing this. I love meeting the people that actually I felt like you guys raised me. My older sister and my cousins, they get a kick out of seeing me actually ask you questions that I know that they want to hear from you. They was like, you interviewed them? Yeah, that's coming out soon. Don't worry about it. That's it. And some people think I'm a celebrity talking to celebrities. I was like, no, I'm just a regular fan.
You're
right.
That's right. We want an autograph.
Oh, don't tell him that.
His face.
He'll be trying to sing. He'll be trying to sing.
Yo, don't run with promotions like that. You know what I mean? Get a little windy in here.
Oh my God.
I might start a website. Just
I can't.
It'll be on its own website. What?
All right. Well, I really I thank you, ladies, so much for coming on to KROSS BARZ. Appreciate you. You don't even understand. We appreciate you coming on, respecting us just as, as a podcast, with all of your legacies and everything that you have to carry on. We respect it. Like you said, it's a part of who we are. That's what KROSS BARZ is about. It's just having those conversations, across the genres, across the age, across religion, and just know that people are people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And your definition of success, we just gleaning from that and is using some of that things to, let other people know about it, and it's to propel us to whatever next level that we're going to. So thank you again so much. We love you. This was KROSS BARZ, KROSS BARZ. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the social medias, and our website. So we will see you again. Signing off for now, y'all. Peace.
Peace.